Hello, everybody. We're continuing our creature week with, I've seen the title, Aliens. Uh, us with me as always is John, and this time it's directed by James Cameron, and this time it's more action-packed than horror.
I would still say it's still horror. It's still freaky. It has those like moments of like, oh shit, we're hopeless scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, if you guys haven't seen this movie yet, what the fuck you doing? But if you have, you know that no matter how prepared they brought a tank, they brought like a gunship, they brought missiles, they brought shotguns, they brought flamethrowers and machine guns, and they still got fucked.
Yeah. This one still stars Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley, but has a whole new cast including the late great Bill Paxton and who else? Lance Henriksen, Michael Bean. Yeah,
Dean?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, Michael Bean.
yeah. He was Kyle Reese in the first Terminator movie.
Oh, so he was that bounty hunter from Mando.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, quick question before we get into the plot: how did you come across this movie, and did you watch this first before the original Alien?
No, actually, this is the one where I was like, oh, I watched the original Alien, and then I do remember seeing this on like HBO and Star Movies back in the day. My dad would watch it, and I would see it, but I never watched it fully. Like I saw some scenes. I saw the Queen scene. I saw the where skipping ahead, Ripley opens the airlock doors and she just grabs onto the ladder and not get her arms ripped off from the vacuum of space. We'll get to that when we get there. But I just saw those scenes. I never watched the movie fully until I watched the first one, and I was like, I'm gonna watch the second one because Enzo said it was really good. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I watched the first one before this one.
Okay. Yeah, same here. But like, for most people, they watch this before Alien. Same with Terminator 2. They watch Terminator 2 before Terminator 1.
Yeah, that was me as well. No, but I get it. Like, this is a really good introduction. Like, if you want to know what happened to Ripley, just imagine this movie to be like Ripley's this mysterious engineer that experienced so much shit, and 50 years has passed, and now she has to do it again. And then the first one is the prequel. You could run it like that,
Yeah.
just to see what you went through.
Yeah. But yeah, James Cameron takes uh, Ridley Scott's place, and getting into the story, we find out that it takes 50 plus years after the first one, and Ripley is saved by uh, a space
Scavengers?
Yeah,
Yes.
scavengers, who they bring her in, and we are introduced to Bert, played by Paul Reiser, and
Hmm.
she's obviously traumatized and confused, and she's brought in first to ask questions like, what happened to your old ship? How did this happen? Since it does, you know, it has a certain dollar value to it, or like, what happened to our property?
Right.
Explain.
And like you gotta love how there's like there was something horrible. Yeah, but what happened to the car? You're like, I got into an accident, but how's the car though?
Right?
Like the government's kind of like that. Hey, if y'all don't know who Paul Reiser is,
Strange.
Stranger Things. He's the mom of Elle. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He's the good scientist, and he's the legend in The Boys season 3.
yeah. I'm
Uh,
glad he's still working.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but she's stripped of her license, but she gets an opportunity to get back working because Bert tells her that there's a colony that they've lost contact with, and it's on the planet where they found the ship in, the original alien ship, and that she's been warning them of, like, why didn't you destroy it? Like, well, we couldn't do that. We don't really know what happened. Yeah, basically.
Okay, all you gotta know is that Wayland Yutani is just a horrible company.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this is if you watch Gundam, it's like Anaheim Electronics. It's always the main bad guy. That company never gets affected by the main problem, but it might be the cause of it.
Yeah.
That's always the case.
And then I do like that Ripley still has nightmares of chest bursters and shit. Because
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, yeah. But she makes Burke promise, like, promise me if we do this, you won't take anything home for experimentation or for science. We're going in there to destroy everything. He's like, yeah.
But of course, like, okay, I get it that it's a movie made like 30 years ago, but like for me, I was like, I'm already smelling like, nah, he's too corporate.
Right?
He wants to keep this thing. It's too expensive, or like the asset's too valuable to kill,
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
person. Even though he does like, he'll say anything just to get his way at the moment.
He seems nice. You're like, maybe he's not the corporate asshole. And then later on, you're like, I should have seen that coming.
Yeah, no, but it is a bit off because he does give Ripley the helm a lot. Like, what was the name of that captain,
Yeah,
or the guy who was like,
the young guy.
yeah, the very not so
Experienced.
experienced captain.
Yeah, yeah.
Like every time he starts to break down, like Burke would give Ripley like, "Hey, you're in charge now." So you kind of think like, "Oh, I guess he's okay."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's we got to a scene where we're introduced to the Marines, the Space Marines of this franchise, and they really are one of the standouts of this movie. But even though they are one
so
of the standouts,
cartoony though. It is so cartoony
it
though.
is. Ripley still is above and beyond standing out. You're like, yeah, she still stands out of the crowd. Like, and that's fantastic for like female-led action movies. That Ripley's a pioneer of that.
Yeah, she is, and it's. I know it is a little bit of controversy to say, but here they don't tell, they show. You know, like they don't say Ripley's a badass and she does all of these things. Like no, she does it. Like she doesn't say anything. She doesn't come out as a badass, but her actions speak for herself.
Yeah.
And I like that about Ripley. Here, yeah, we already get it. It's like shit. Ripley is a badass at this point. If you've seen the first movie,
Yeah. And she saw
but here,
falls
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that jazz.
See, she's still human, which makes her even more badass. Knowing the fact that she's like us, but yet a step ahead because she's willing to go through hell and back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And yeah, we get introduced to Hicks, Hudson, Vasquez, and the rest. And
Nah.
Avon.
I love Vasquez and her partner. I forgot what was his name.
Mm,
Was it Drake? Was it Private Drake?
I think so.
Like they had like the two turret soldiers or turret grunts, and it was Vasquez and I think it was Drake.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like prepping, like what do you call it? Standing in attention with the turret gun. I was like, what the fuck y'all doing?
Right.
High fives all around, unisex locker rooms. I'm like, there's a shit ton of testosterone and estrogen in this one place, and it makes me so angry.
Like,
Like I want to kill something.
Hudson's like, hey, Vasquez, has anyone confused you for being a man? Just like, why? Has anyone confused you for being a man?
Yeah, I love the busting the balls. You gotta love like it's
Yeah.
cartoony, it's campy as fuck, but it's like the unit itself is a character on its own.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love the camp.
But they're having a debriefing and they're like, just show us where to shoot. We'll take care of it. And Ripley's like, I hope you are ready. Because that one of those things killed my entire crew. And if you're not prepared, it's going to do the same thing to you.
And of course they're like, well, we're prepared. As Hudson goes off and like, how much arsenal that they would have later on into the movie will lose. So like, all right, Hudson, whatever you say.
Yeah. And it's in when they're having their break, their meal break, that Ripley discovers that what do you call the android again?
Bishop.
Bishop is an android, and she freaks out. She's like, "You never told me about any androids in this mission. Why not?" And Burke's like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that."
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the first one, the android goes rogue and starts killing the rest of the crew as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just an alien; it was also a rogue android that was killing them,
Yeah.
which was also like a big bad guy in Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
It was the AI that was going haywire.
Yeah. Bishop's like, well, those prototypes are always bound for malfunctioning, so they'll
Hmm.
wonder why.
But I will say Bishop MVP of this whole group. He's my favorite like
Hmm.
character here.
And then they go into the planet, and at first it's a mission to find the colonists. Like, where are they? Where they all go? For an entire colony, they all suddenly disappeared. That's weird. And it's
I got
on. Hmm?
yeah. Sorry, I just gotta point it out. The pilot, as badass as she is, who the fuck wears shades in space? Like you're a pilot for fuck's sake. Why are you wearing shades?
It's the 80s, man. You know.
I guess they had to look like the Top Gun, like quota of badass pilot.
I mean,
You need aviators.
you were wearing a sweater in this Philippine heat a few videos back, so. anyway, they find Newt, and they find out that Newt's been surviving a long time, and they're like, "What happened to the other people?" And she's like, so traumatized. They're like, "Oh, can kind of picture it together."
Yeah, I mean, we do see a scene where her family does discover the alien spacecraft, and
Yeah,
her father is,
face hugged.
yeah,
Yeah, but we see that Newt and Ripley start developing a bond, and it's great for Ripley because earlier on you find out that her daughter passed away because it's been like 57 years, and her daughter tried to look for her or was waiting for her, but unfortunately didn't have enough time, and she's devastated to learn that she passed away.
don't we play the daughter
In Alien
in?
Isolation, yeah,
Yeah, okay, cool.
but they find in the monitors where the colonists are, and Ripley, Newt, and Bert wait in the tank while the Marines go in. They're going deeper and deeper into sublevels, and Ripley's like, "Where are they? What kind of munitions do you have?" And he's like, "Oh, they're explosive rounds." She's like, "Yeah, if you shoot one of those, this entire thing's gonna go. Can you tell them not to?" You're like, "Right."
Right. The thing is, can't you just tell them, hey, holster the gun instead of taking their magazines away? Like, or are they so trigger happy that well, I guess Vasquez and Drake were very trigger happy. Like as soon as they give their ammunition, they plug in another one.
Yeah,
Okay, it makes sense.
yeah. And you say there are still horror roots, like the first colonists they find, there's like, "Kill me, please." They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
shit."
Yeah, and then we do get a chest bursting scene, just one though.
Yeah,
And well, two if you count the hallucination. But it's so cool to see. And at the beginning, you see these soldiers so prepped, so ready to go to hell and back, and just go to war or fight whatever that's coming at them. And just seeing them get taken out one by one is so surreal because you thought that they're gonna be okay. Maybe one or two are gonna die. No, probably 70% of the troops died in the
Yeah.
first act.
like the ammo bag catches on fire. Like, that's not good.
Yep. Yeah, I forgot. Majority of the Marines were killed because the ammo bag blew up.
Yeah, all the elements that made the xenomorph scary in the first one are still here. Like the second mouth, the acid blood. Like you see, who was it? Like Vasquez's partner gets destroyed by the.
Oh yeah, Drake. Yeah, as soon as he gets close to the ship,
Yeah.
I think Vasquez shot the alien that was next to him, but they forgot that there was acid blood that would spray on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, the young captain's like telling the sergeant, like, "Get your men together," and he's like, "As long as he's alive, we're still good, right?" No,
Yeah.
A1 gets taken out too. Like, oh fuck.
No, dude. I gotta love how how ironic it is that a guy named Private Frost
Yeah.
got flamethrowered. But well, it was a
What's
funny
my role
scene.
in the movie, Mr. Cameron? Just your name's Frost. You're gonna get flamethrowered. Okay.
To be honest, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, like as soon as we see before that though, we do see the captain. What's his name again? I keep forgetting his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like Captain Useless until the last arc.
Yeah. Because
Starts to break down, and it's like I don't know what to do. And Ripley had to take the helm and pretty much drive the tank
Yeah.
into the nest so they could evacuate the troops or what's left of them.
Yeah. Because early on, they're like, when they were going to orbit, they asked him like, "How many drops have you had?" 35 simulated. How about real ones? 2.
I think this one.
Counting this one.
Gorman, there we go. Lieutenant Gorman.
Yeah. And yeah, as you said, Ripley takes the helm of the vehicle, and Gorman gets a concussion, or like gets knocked out with a concussion throughout the entire
Like,
movie.
like an apple box just fell on his head.
Yeah.
I would say that's like that's the fault of the manufacturers of the tank. That's not safe.
Yeah, right. And then Hicks, Vasquez, Hudson, and the rest of the crew make it out of there, and they're like, "We just got our asses handed out to us. We have to retreat." And Ripley's like, they're trying to figure out solutions, and Ripley's like, "I say we just nuke the place from orbit, just be done with it." And
Yeah.
Hicks like, "But money." No, he's like,
Yeah,
we
like-
can't have that. This place holds a certain dollar value." You're like, "Oh, now you're really showing your colors."
Yeah, like dollar value. Like around probably 10 men just fucking died. 10 of our men just fucking died. And you gotta love it. Sure, we mentioned that there was a huge shootout, but they still stick to the theme of like not showing the alien too much.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't get a full image of it except for the queen. From now and then you do get to see like the alien full body, but it's just like a flash of their muzzle or flashlight, and then immediately it disappears.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
still stick to the horror theme.
In that initial action sequence when they're being ambushed, you barely see them. You like see this only glimpses of their second mouth or like their claws or really their heads, but that's about it.
Yeah. And sure, they're getting wasted by these explosive bullets, but there's just too much of them.
Yeah, yeah. And they try to make it out, but unfortunately, a xenomorph is already on the ship and just the captain, and she crashes down hard. Which
into the facility with like a nuke inside of it.
yeah, it's game over, man. Game over.
I got annoyed by Hudson at that point, but later on he kind of grew on me.
I love Bill Paxton's delivery of that line. Just
Oh, same here. Go on.
But yeah, he does like Hudson, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, at some points I stick with like Corporal Hicks and Ripley here. Like, can you just shut the fuck up for once? Like, we get it. We are in the same situation as you are, but you're not helping.
So they retreat and lick their wounds and count how much ammo they have, and it's not a lot. And they also set up sentries. And again, Hudson's panicking. It's like, how long till rescue? 17 days. 17 days, we'll never make it. And Riff is like,
We'll be dead in 17 hours, man.
like, shut the fuck up. This little girl survived longer than that, and he's just like,
Yeah, I love nurture.
yeah.
What's up?
But yeah, they have no choice but to wait because Bishop's getting another ship to rescue them. So, as they're waiting, Ripley and Hicks have this moment of bonding where he teaches her how to fire a rifle, essentially.
And I love it that they don't really bathe in the the romantic, or if there is room for a romance in this movie. No, it's just light flirting. You see that will they, won't they kind of thing, but it's not on the nose, not in your face.
Going way back a bit, like when Ripley's showing them that she can do the power lifter, the power loader. He's
Yeah.
like, where do you want it? They're like, alright.
Yeah. this is my first time ever seeing somebody chew a cigar,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's by
Napalm?
Apalm. Yeah, I'm like, do you chew a cigar? That looks nasty.
Right. Um, but yeah, they're waiting, and again, Ripley and Newt have a bonding moment, and it's really sweet. And then they rest for the night, but Ripley hears something crash, and she sees the containment jar where she realizes like, oh shit, that's where our facehugger used to be.
Yeah, and, and like we go back to the first movie with this scene where the gun's gone because Ripley left it on the bed,
Mhm.
and yes, oh my God, Burke was the one who released the facehugger and took the gun away and locked them in the room.
Yeah.
And yeah, we brought back to the first movie where it's all hopeless. We don't have anything but our wits to try our best to survive in this room with essentially the apex predator of this planet.
Yeah, yeah. And then Ripley uses her lighter to trigger the fire alarm system. But before, even though she does that, the facehugger attacks her, and then another one attacks Newt, and Newt pins one against the wall, and Ripley's barely holding off the other one. And then,
Okay, say what you will. I know this is an 80s movie, but those things go like this.
yeah, right?
I would rather off myself with a grenade launcher of that rifle than fight that thing.
Yeah, because that thing looks persistent. You're like, Jesus Christ, calm down, please.
It won't stop.
Yeah.
It won't stop. It won't stop choking me, Daddy.
And again, there's something extremely violating about a xenomorph and its offspring. You're like, it has to get on your face and impregnate you and then burst out of your chest. What the fuck?
They took it too personal.
Yeah, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
he sees what's going on. He bursts through the window and they kill all the facehuggers. And I like how Hudson dispatches of his.
Yeah, by pretty much wasting his entire mag on one facehugger.
Yeah. Not smart, but it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. And then they sit Burke down and they're like, we should just get rid of this guy. I don't know why he's still here. And he's like so corporate. And just Ripley figures out like, oh, you wanted to experiment on this thing so badly. That's why you stuck one into a room so that once you get into quarantine, no one notice that we have an embryo in us.
Yeah, and it'll stay nested
Yeah,
as soon as they thaw us. And I was like, what's your plan then?
right?
Now you have an apex predator outside of the planet, you idiot.
Right? I like Ripley. It's like, say what you will about them, but they don't fuck each other over for a percentage, unlike Burke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, that's kind of cool to see. And you gotta love it. In this scene, we start to see the, what do you call it, the turrets.
Mhm.
They start to lose ammo.
Yeah.
You know how, like, depressing that is?
Yeah.
Like, you just see the counter just go from 300 bullets to 0, and you're just like, and they're still coming?
Yeah, eventually keep coming closer, and Ripley upon like, wait, that's right next to us. And Hudson's like, I'm telling you, man, they're right here. And then was it Hicks or Ripley that goes through the ceiling?
Oh, it was Hicks.
Hicks.
Hicks like looks up into the ceiling and he just sees them crawling into the vents.
That's
So I was
such
like,
a
oh.
creepy scene. Like, have you ever like opened a cabinet and you see like at least like 3 or 5 cockroaches? Like, no, what did we do wrong?
Or like, you know, you like those horror movie scenes where they have the attic that you have to pull down the hatch.
Yeah.
Like, who has the balls to just go up there and just look if there's anything dangerous? Like, it's like, oh shit, I gotta take care of the cockroach in my attic, and you open the attic and you see like probably 20 Michael Myers.
Yeah. Like, that's new. I'm fucked. But yeah,
Well, I'm dead.
they try to make their stand, and Burke cowardly retreats to another room, while Hudson is going AWOL with his machine gun. I'm like, I feel like something popped. You're like, oh shit, there goes Hudson.
Right. And Hudson goes out like a champ though. Like he doesn't squeal or sound hopeless. He was mad. Like Fuck
Yeah,
you! Like the entire time he was going down, like he went out like a man.
yeah,
I love Hudson at that point. He was annoying at the start, then he became cool.
yeah. And as they're trying to unlock the door, Bert moves to another room, but unfortunately, a xenomorph's right there. He's like, well, fuck him.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's well deserved. I wish he died in a more
Gruesome way.
gruesome way,
Hmm.
but who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
I mean, maybe just went through his face. You're like, that's fine enough.
Nah.
And but New tells them of like the vent system, and they try to make their escape there. But Vasquez is injured because she pins one xenomorph to the wall and shoots it with her handgun, but the acid gets to her leg.
Yeah, and she can't move. And heroically enough, Lieutenant Gorman comes back for her,
Yeah,
and within their last stand, he kind of just agrees that yeah, let's just grenade ourselves,
yeah,
just pull the pin and take as much as we can with us.
yeah. And unfortunately, after making their escape, Newt falls through the sewers and is kidnapped by one of the xenomorphs. And,
Yeah, because of the explosion,
yeah,
it kind of pushed Newt like into the what do you call it?
sewers,
Fan?
van, and into the sewers where she's kidnapped.
Yeah,
So Ripley has to take Hicks back to the ship first because he got sprayed with acid and he's in a not grievously injured, but like he needs to rest, otherwise he might not make it back in time.
yeah. Because as soon as they got into the elevator,
Hmm.
they had to shoot a xenomorph that was right in their face.
Yeah,
Sad to say, Hicks got hit with acid.
yeah,
That is such an effective thing to have.
right,
Acid blood. Like, all you need to do is die in front of a person and you take them with you.
right,
It's so effective. But, and early on to the movie, you see Bishop, like, crawl through, like, this sewer, or, like, wherever Andy Dufresne went into. Like, that was claustrophobic as fuck. Like, only an android can handle that mentally. And how many yards was it? Like, it was such a long crawl by shoulder.
right.
He wasn't crawling like this. He was crawling like this while pushing, like, equipment.
Like only a thing with like no human emotions can be like, sure, I'll do that,
Yeah, and then brings the ship in.
right?
So I'm like, you gotta give it up to Bishop here.
And then there's the moment Ellen Ripley really becomes an action hero because she has to solo it to rescue Newt.
Oh, they were supposed to leave. Like, they could have left.
Yeah,
Even Bishop was like, we're not leaving? Like, even the android was kind of shocked. They're like, wait, what?
yeah, right.
Yeah, because they had to go after Newt because the nest is in the, like, the radioactive, I don't know, power place?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot what you call it. Power
She-
plant.
Thankfully enough, she does find Newt and she does turn the corner. She's like, oh, oh my, that's a shit ton of eggs. And that's
Yeah.
when we get the queen. And this thing, up to now, is still one of the most impressive things to look at. You're like, that's a real thing. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Well, actually, a lot of the things here were real.
Yeah,
Like, the aliens, those were, like, a shit ton of costumes.
yeah,
So, like, you gotta give the 80s credit for working with what they got.
yeah,
Like, no CGI. You'll appreciate this, except for like a little bit of green screen when you see the ship come into orbit.
yeah. And like Ripley and the queen have like some telepathy because she's like sending out her boys and she's like, what do you want us to do, Ma? She's like, I will fry all these eggs if you don't let us let us go.
I don't know how all of the xenomorph just has a southern accent.
And she's like, back down. They're like, all right, we'll back
Oh
down.
God, she got a gun pointed at Buford. Nah, but like, yeah, they kind of like had an agreement. Like, you send him after me, I'm burning the babies.
Yeah.
Like, do what you want.
And then as she's making her treat one egg open, she's like, oh, I see how it is.
Yeah,
And just fries all of them.
this is a legit badass scene
Yeah.
where Ripley's just soloing it. Again, like, she's clutching for the team, rescuing her child.
Yeah.
And she does, like, kind of adopt Newt as her new baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once they make it up to the top, they see the queen is there too, and the thing's about to blow, and they kind of accept their fate. They're like, well, at least we have each other.
Yeah. It is kind of gross though, because the queen does like separate from her womb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like she chases after them, and she gets into the elevator, and for some reason sneaks into like the landing gears of the ship.
But I'm like, that's weird. We're heavier. Oh well.
We can make it.
But yeah, they escape in time, and they land in a docking bay, and Alan Ripley's thanking Bishop, and then he's stabbed from behind and he's ripped apart. I'm like,
Yeah,
for a while,
but
I'm like, all right, he's an android. Fuck, I thought he's a human.
I keep forgetting he's fun.
Yeah, right?
He just spits out cum. That's it. I mean, you gotta give it to. Fuck, what was the name of the actor for Bishop?
Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, the man looked like he just came from a bukkake session.
Yeah, future Kojak.
Yeah.
But yeah, the queen fights Ripley at first, and then Ripley's like, wait, I'll get my special armor. And then the queen gets to Newt, and then Ripley comes out the door, and she's like, get away from her, you bitch.
Which is an awesome, famous line.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Harry Potter kind of like took that one.
Of course, a lot of things did.
Yeah.
Like, that was plastered to one of the pancake houses when I was younger. I was like, Mom, what does that mean?
You get it when you're in danger, and I come for you.
Right. Or when you're older and you can watch, R-rated movies.
Yeah, I don't think this counts as R-rated. Does it?
I mean...
For 80s? I guess.
Seeing a colonist being fried alive, that's a bit much.
Also, like, I don't know if you know the gravity of the situation. The planet had 100 and plus families. Not people, families. In that colony. They're all dead.
Yes. Except for
Like,
you.
people tend to forget, like, right, there's supposed to be a shit ton of people here.
Yeah.
Where are they now? Well, they're crawling up in the vents and shit.
Well, they're not going. They're probably dead already.
But those are their children.
Sure.
And their children's children.
But yeah, again, for an 80s movie, the fight is pretty cool. Like, especially when the queen gets in biting range and uses her second mouth. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah. It is a little bit janky because you do know, like, it's in the 80s.
Yeah. And then Ripley does the Killmonger and throws the alien down the shaft, but she falls for the alien queen. And
Yeah.
she's climbing up, but the queen does grab her, so she opens up the vent to space. I don't know how her knee's not dislocated from this.
Not her knees, her elbows. Right? She holds on like this.
Right.
There's enough force from vacuum of space to actually rip your arms off
Yeah.
if you hold on into anything.
Right?
So she should have not survived that situation. So, but hey, it's a movie. Who cares?
I also I don't know how she got the queen to let go.
Well, remember the walker was like pinned to her, so she can't really move.
Right.
She just had like her hand on her leg.
But yeah, like the first xenomorph in the first one, this one, the queen gets sucked into the vacuum of space, and I guess we never see from her again.
We did confirm that xenomorphs do survive in space.
Right.
Like, yeah, they can walk in like the vacuum of space and not really need air.
Yeah, that's why they're the perfect, predator, the apex. Aside
Yeah.
from predator itself.
Well, he can't survive in space.
Right. And they say predator's cooler. Okay, no, I like the predator too.
If I had the choice, I would pick the predator.
All right, that's fair. But
Yeah.
yeah. And then after the danger set, Bishop's like, not bad for a human. She's like, thank you. And they all go into hibernation, and if you skip Alien 3 and the rest, you're like, I guess this ends happily.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a cliffhanger where it's just a shot at Newt
Yeah,
going into hypersleep with the rest of the group,
yeah,
and then that's it.
yeah,
There's no the government saved us. This is what happened to our expedition. Nothing like that because in the third one, it's years later and
they
they get
do.
to a prison planet and the rest of them died in hypersleep.
Yeah, because there's a xenomorph. One of them had a xenomorph on board, and yeah, like what a way to treat your really developed characters, eh?
Right? These were really good characters. And it sucks because we got attached to Newt because at the end of the fight scene, she goes mommy to
Yeah,
Ripley. So it they kind of just tossed that, chemistry away.
yeah. I mean, whenever we get to Alien 3, we'll get to that, and maybe we'll also touch on Prometheus. But yeah, as far as the Alien franchise goes, this is the last good entry, at least for me.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say this is a really good movie.
Yeah, and for the first time in action movie history, the lead actress was nominated for an Oscar.
Uh,
Sigourney Weaver was nominated, but she lost, which is a rarity because the Academy really doesn't nominate action movies or action stars. And
yeah,
the fact it only happened to, I believe it only happened to Sigourney Weaver and not Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger says a lot about this movie and her
I mean,
performance in it.
there's a lot to think about with this movie compared to something like Rambo or Predators.
To be fair, Rambo does have a certain amount of weight, but like that's
Oh, right, I forgot. The first one's about PTSD.
right. It's like
My bad.
I
My
mean,
bad.
it's fine considering where that franchise also went to. Like, oh, I see where it is now versus where it started.
Yeah,
But
I would say the first Rambo should have had won something.
I think it almost did, but that's neither here or there. Yeah, this is why Aliens, for our minds at least, gets the trophy room seal because it's a classic and it stands the test of time.
And it's rewatchable.
Yeah,
Like, legit. Like, probably this week I'll watch it again just for the shits of it.
yeah, same here. But
Yeah.
with all that nice things being said, what would you rate this?
I, I would rate this one a solid. Like, damn, you gave it the seal of, like,
I know.
our imaginary seal of approval. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
giving this one a 9.
I mean, we
I'm
give
not
other
giving it.
trophy rooms a 9 or like an 8, so it's fine.
Yeah. Like, because there are some scenes here that I did get, like, a little bit turned off from.
Mm.
And especially some scenes with Hudson where I'm just like, ugh, can you just shut the fuck up? But that's pretty much it. It's just a nitpick.
mm.
I also give this one a 9. That's still a good score.
Honestly, I'm gonna go one step beyond. I'll give this a 10 out of 10. Like, yeah, Hudson's annoying, but like, doesn't really, make me go like, I don't really like this segment of the movie. Not really. I just like the characters, the story, and the effects. Because again, they're all just timeless. And this came out in the 80s, and the fact that it holds the test of time versus a lot of other CGI heavy movies, you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Hey, you know what? I kind of like. Can you just take away my previous score? It's a 10 out of 10. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think a nitpick shouldn't deduct points.
Alright, I convinced you.
Hudson sure was annoying, but now that you mention it, practical effects all around, but it doesn't really take away from the experience of the Alien.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Aliens, my bad.
Yeah.
And we get to see more of it. We get to see an action-packed horror movie,
Yeah,
which a lot of movies don't pull off well.
yeah. And it's cool too, since the first one at least transcends genres because it's horror and action, and then this one does too. Like
Yeah,
aliens just hit such a very precise nerve in the cultural zeitgeist that you're like, it's still relevant today, and I still care about it, even
I
though
mean,
movie-wise it's not the best anymore. But back then it was pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, you could see a lot of influences in like Dead Space, GTFO, like those games where you are a squad or one person going into a spaceship or a very sci-fi esque area with horror elements in it.
Yeah,
You can see that this thing really did transcend the test of time and influenced a shit ton of media.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see.
yeah. But yeah, that's been our video on aliens. Comment below
Yeah,
which one do you like better,
yeah.
commenters, alien or aliens. Please let us know. And
Aliens, hands down. If you say alien, you're wrong. No, I'm
oh wow.
kidding. Love what you want. Love what you.
uh, but if you want to see more of us, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. If you want to see us react to trailers, we have a Facebook at facebook.com/geeks and degenerates. We react to trailers, we stream video games, and about our life from time to time. If you want to hear us on the go and not see our beautiful faces, we have a Spotify podcast. All the links are down below. Individually, you can find me at the Office 1995 on IG and Twitter. How about you?
You can find me at JomGOM on Instagram. It is my art account.
And that's all the time we have for this video at least. We'll see you on the last creature feature, and it will be something kind of akin to this, since they do go hand in hand together. Kind of.
I mean, we're like fist to fist, but like, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Bye.
Ciao.